Welcome back. As we recognize our nation's military this Veterans Day, many veterans say they are struggling with their finances. Financial professional Mike Kojonen, owner of Principal Preservation Services, is here to talk about some of the hurdles veterans are facing and how to help them get back on their feet. Mike, as always, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So what are some of these hurdles that veterans are facing, and how can they just get a head start on them?
Yeah, first of all, I think 60% of veteran families don't even have enough money for emergencies, let alone 3 months. You should have about 3 to 6 months of your expenses set aside for an emergency. So you have to get down to the budget. So write down all the income coming into the house, expenses going out, try to cut out that fat so you can start putting some money aside to have that peace of mind if any kind of emergency arose. The best thing to do is, even if you can do $20 a paycheck, do something to get in that direction. And the reason why you probably don't have enough money is there may be credit card debt. About a third of military families says that's the biggest debt that they have is credit card debt. So again, we got to get that taken care of. With holidays coming, we can be tempted to use them. That $100 purchase, if you make the minimum payments, is going to cost you $200, so don't do that. So there's 2 rules of thought. One is attack the highest interest rate. The second one is attack the lowest debt, which I like. So what you're going to do is make all the minimum payments you can on the other debts, but make as much as you can on that smallest debt until it's paid off. And then when that is paid off, put all the extra funds to the next smallest debt and so on. It just creates a snowball effect. It's worked really good for my clients who've done that for their credit cards and even student loans.
It's nice to have some direction and get rid of some of those debts. And when we think of scams, especially in news, we think of senior citizens often being targeted, but this is something that's also an issue for veterans and their own finances.
Yeah, vets are actually targeted a lot on scams. There's a lot of them going on right now. I just read about 7 veteran scams right now. One of the popular ones is trying to give you a cash buyout for the pensions. It's not a good deal. They're going to give you a big sum of money right up front, which sounds appealing, but you're going to lose long term. Another one is they want you to give your Social Security number over the phone, or credit cards. They pretend like it's a VA updating the records. Just don't get any personal information over the phone. Do your research first. If you think you're a victim of fraud, contact the Federal Trade Commission. Getting
out of debt, saving money is stressful enough, but there are other things that often veterans are dealing with. How can they kind of seek help to get that to coincide with fixing their life?
Yeah, definitely just seek, like you said, you need to seek help. You deserve it. The biggest help need for veterans is health care. If you need health care or even mental health or financial health, there's foundations out there. A lot of organizations are willing to help, which is the National Veterans Foundation is one of them. I have a list on my website at preserveyourdollars.com to seek help. That's the key.
So first you eliminate the debt, then you get that emergency fund, but then you want to start thinking about the years down the road. How can they get confident about saving for their retirement once they work themselves out of those difficult spots?
Yeah, and pensions are great, but unfortunately only about 17% of military personnel serve long enough to receive a pension. So you have to focus on other ways for retirement. And one thing that the military does, and the Veterans Hospital does here, which they hire a lot of military, a lot of veterans, is the TSP, the Thrift Savings Plan. It's the government's version of the 401k. You want to be investing into that. If you invest in 5%, they will match the first 5% you put in. But it can be confusing because the TSP, you're not investing in certain funds. They have a bunch of letters. So you get the C fund, the S fund, the I fund, the F, the G, the L's. So what are you investing in? You need to sit down with a professional who understands what those funds are. Is that appropriate for you? And another tip on the TSP is the Roth. They have a Roth option that they added a few years ago, so you can pay the taxes today. It grows tax-free, and when you take the withdrawals out, they're tax-free as well. So definitely look into the Roth option inside the TSP.
And we know money is often a core center of stress for people, so thanks for helping our veterans.
I was glad to help.
Working through this.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Advice that I think everyone can also take from Mike. Thank you again.